Let's bring the game up. Let's show them what we got. Are we up? Yep. Okay, we're up. This is a character select screen, and this is our boy Aganos. Aganos. We'll show you colors later. Don't get antsy in your pantsy. And we're going to use good old Sadira as our training dummy. She's a nice lady. Da-dum. And we do have an outline. We have an outline this week again, so we're going to go through it point by point, make sure we don't miss anything.
You mean we're supposed to follow that thing?
We're going to follow it.
All right.
We're using the outline. It's going to be great. There he is. Oh, smashed a rock. Yeah.
Laying down the law.
That's my boy. I don't know which eyes to look at, though, like which face to look at. It's very confusing. All right. And there we go. So the first thing you probably notice is he doesn't cover the life bars. We have moved the camera out a bit. But I think what's important to note here, if you go ahead and walk away from me. You have no control.
Yep.
That's right.
I'm
a smart man. Human. Okay, there. The camera always zoomed out. No matter what characters you were playing as before, it had a zoom in and a zoom out. And the zoom out actually has not changed at all. You can't walk any farther away from Aganos than you can any other character in the game. It just doesn't zoom in quite as close when you walk in. That way he doesn't cover the life bars. So the gameplay has not changed as a result of this camera change at all. Very important to note. And we had a screenshot to show you guys what that looks like. Was that up on the screen already? Okay, that's coming up. This screenshot will show you guys Aganos standing as far away as possible from Sadira on Jago's stage, and then the same situation with Jago. And you'll notice while the camera is a little different, they are on the exact same spot on the blue carpet. So you cannot walk any farther away from Aganos than you would expect to be able to walk away from any character. Yay! That's pretty much it for that. So you're probably all wondering already, what's with the special UI? Why does he have two little stones there? That's a great question, and I'm going to talk to you about it now. Well, the first thing that we need to talk about here is that he has what we call a chunk system. He can use pieces of himself slotted into his chest. You can see two glowing rocks in his stomach right now to augment himself in different ways and be used as, for different tools, whatnot. So the first thing they do is they give you armor. Armor is very important. Every chunk is one hit of armor. So go ahead and hit me, Sadira. Oh, I'm walking through it. I got 2 chunks, so I had 2 armors. And now I have no armor, so go ahead and hit me. And of course, I can get my chunks back very easily by hitting back hard punch, which is me scoop a chunk back out of the floor and slide it right back in. So I can go up to 4 chunks. And that makes me slower, makes me very slow. So the more chunks I have, the more weighty I get. My jump gets worse, all that stuff. My punches are slower, everything's slower. Go ahead and take my chunks away and I'll show you how much faster I get. Now I walk at a pretty reasonable speed. I can play footsies, I jump much higher, a much more mobile, normal character. He actually does have a 5-frame normal, which is his light kick, but with 1 chunk or more, it actually starts to slow down, and you'll have to use the armor to play it to your advantage. Very interesting mechanic. So be sure to chunk up whenever you get the chance by hitting back hard punch to gain a chunk. Go ahead and hit me again, get rid of that armor. There's a lot more stuff to do with chunks, but we're going to talk about that stuff later. So let's keep moving through the outline. There's an elephant in the room. People have been asking, hey, can I throw this guy?
It's in the chat, too.
Yeah, they've been asking
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Can I throw this guy? He's so big. Keats, it doesn't make sense to be able to throw a guy this big, said the guy playing a video game where a skeleton fights a dinosaur. Yes, you can throw him, and in fact, this is one of his huge weaknesses. Being thrown is a huge, huge weakness of his. Go ahead and toss me. Whip him up in the air. If you need a story reason for you to be able to throw him, my theory is that the magic that animates him makes him lighter than he seems, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Wow.
Or the characters are all really powerful. You can just do the stuff that you always do off of throws to him. No difference. And armor, of course, will not prevent you from being thrown. So when an Aganos player is relying on their armor, just throw them. And that's a great way to inflict some damage. Go ahead and get rid of my armor again, please.
Of course.
Hey, Keats, can people jump over Aganos? That's a great question.
We should try that out.
Go ahead.
Should have tried that before.
Hey, you made it. So every character in the game can jump over standing Aganos except Spinal and Riptor. They actually can't clear him. Riptor can clear standing Aganos using a tail flip. Spinal has teleport, so he's fine too. Everybody can jump over him when he crouches or when he's knocked down. So that's not too big a deal. But the kind of design philosophy for this character was being stuck between a rock and a hard place. So jumping over him isn't necessarily an easy thing to do. But because of his width, he actually is quite easy to get ambiguous cross-ups on, and there are a lot of buttons that don't cross any character in the game up that do cross him up. Look for those. They're very, very fun to use. Moving on. I want to talk to you guys about mindset. When you are fighting Aganos, you're going to need to adopt a brand new mindset. If he has armor, you're going to have to approach this match completely differently than you would any other character. So instead of just hitting him and doing a combo, your new goal is actually going to be to strip the armor away. Once the armor is gone, you can go nuts on him and just play as normal. So keep that in mind while you're watching all this. He's a very, very normal character without the armor. It's when he has armor that you have to treat him very differently and treat him like the giant that he is. Let's look at some normals, shall we?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, I'm going to show you guys all the normals at no chunk speed so that you can see the normal speed of them. They obviously get slower when I chunk up. Punches are pretty great. You got standing light punch, crouching light punch, and jumping light punch. The really cool thing about these flicks is that even though they're slower than the light kicks, they have a lot more range, like really good range, as you can see. And they can destroy projectiles. So Jago's throwing fireballs at you, flick them out of the way. Very, very nice, very useful. Light kick uses his head a little bit, do a little headbutt action, and that is his fastest move. It's actually a pretty good air move too, comes out pretty fast. If you need a fast button, that's your button. Medium punch is this huge slap, this huge back fist. And this has a ton of range as well. Really good air-to-air normal, just generally great for starting offense and playing footsies because of its speed and range. Next up is medium kick. That's going to be a little tackle. It has less range than the medium punch, but it does start up faster. And the jumping version is actually very outstanding because it covers a lot of space and actually can cross up. So he does have a cross up, which is very, very good. The close version of standing medium punch I wanted to show you as well. Boom! Smashes him in the head. You can get a link off of this into a light kick. If you're good, and I'm not good. Okay, I can't do it. You can, I'm pretty sure. Unless we accidentally change that. Hard punch is a great button as well. Boom! Oh my gosh. Big wallop, huge, huge range. Quite a bit of recovery, so you gotta be careful how you use this. And a lot of characters can duck it. Go ahead and duck. So if players duck that, they can just press a button and punish you for it. I did the close version on accident. Sure. Crouching hard punch is an uppercut, great for anti-air. Can set up some quick little juggles for you that can gain you space. And jumping hard punch will cause a ground bounce, which is an extremely ideal time to grab a chunk because they won't be up in time to stop you. Take my armor away, please. Standing hard kick is a great move as well. It actually causes a wall splat, and jumping hard kick causes a wall splat as well, which is our first jumping move that causes a wall splat, which is pretty great. And the two-hit version of that makes for some pretty easy confirms, the up-close version of standing hard kick. And the next move is extremely important. Crouching hard kick is actually Aganos' only low normal. So he has a really hard time mixing up high lows because he has no standing overhead, and his only low is this. The shockwave from that hits low, so it has some pretty extraordinary range. But the other hit of that is a mid, so it goes mid-low. You're going to need to use this move a lot, and because of the sweep reaction, you can actually get a chunk when you knock somebody down with it pretty safely. So great time to chunk up. Go ahead and take my chunk away, please. Well, actually, the next thing we're talking about is how to use them.
So you're now.
Oh no, we gotta talk about. See, good thing we have the outliner.
Yeah.
He's got pretty good footsies at this speed. Like Sadira's gonna have a hard time standing in a range where her normals are effective and mine aren't, because I'm gonna be pressing this button a lot. Whoops, I'm gonna be pressing this a lot. Whoops, this. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, forward hard kick, command normal. Yeah, he has a command normal forward hard kick that looks like this. He can stomp on you repeatedly. And this is a pretty easy break because they're all heavies. Go ahead and break it after the third hit. Which is great counter breaker bait as well. And that's cancelable in the specials, so you can do pressure with it. When he gets heavier with armor, those actually don't combo, and you can get. I saw Noah get counter hit by that 6 times in a row yesterday. It was pretty fantastic. It's a hilarious move. I recommend using it. It used to autocorrect when we took that out. That was dumb. Like he's stomping at Spinal goes behind him and he turns around. It was so stupid. Let me show you his normal throws though. These are pretty important. Forward throw, boom, hits him in the stomach. Plenty of time after a forward throw to grab a chunk. But because all these moves scale, actually, grabbing a chunk as I have more chunks gets slower and slower, as you can see. Even slower. Ugh. And I finally have all 4 chunks. The back throw slams them down. You can get some good Oki off of that. We'll talk about that later. But an important thing to note here about his throws is the extraordinary range of his throws. He definitely has the best normal throw range in the game, and that combined with armor, even though he doesn't have a command throw, can give him a lot of grappler kind of fear. Okay, we hit 3K. Good job, guys. Let's keep going. Let's get those rewards, and we'll keep moving through the character. That should be all the normal stuff I need to show you. Thank you, Outline. Now let's move on to Payload Assault. You can use the chunks to actually fire them at the opponent like ammo, essentially. So the light Payload Assault will eject the chunk and it'll roll across the screen. Does not hit low. We experimented with that and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Medium sends one flying like this. These come out way faster than the usual projectile as well. It's pretty easy to get someone to try and jump over this and then jump into that. The heavy one's my favorite though. He actually ejects a rock and shatters it with his fist like a shotgun. Boom! That does a ton of hits but not much damage. However, if I'm really close to somebody, it does a ton of damage. I did 25% raw.
And you had some potential.
And I had some potential damage left over. There are some serious applications for that move that we know about that we're not going to tell you about. And when you find them, be happy. That is an awesome move. And if you have no chunks and you try and use a chunk toss or a payload assault, you'll actually just cough up a little bit of rockage. It's not very good, but at least it's something.
I never actually realized that hit.
It didn't until yesterday.
Okay.
That's new. You can link off of that though. Yeah, I'm not doing it very well. There.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Whoops.
Oh. Our outline, no.
Outline, please. There's another use for chunks we'll get to later, but that is how you use chunks as projectiles. So you're kind of balancing the use of chunks as armor and as a weapon. One of my favorite things to do when I have one chunk, go ahead and do like a jumping hard kick at me. I'll hit him out of the sky with crouching fierce. Oh, let me get one more chunk back. And of course he took my chunk away. Stop it. He took my chunk away before the fierce hit, but if I had done it a little earlier, go ahead. I can hit him with that. And the real great reason to do that, go ahead and jump again. Whoops. Keep hitting me. Go ahead. Because I can chunk up again. So it cost me a chunk and I got the chunk back. Look for stuff like that. Look for ways to spend a chunk and get a chunk back so you're kind of at neutral with your chunk balance, I guess. Next move. This is a really cool move. This is called, what's it called?
It depends. So
This move is called Pulverize.
in development, this move changed, unfortunately.
Changed names.
Yeah, so
Yes.
should we show the move first?
Yes, let's show the move. This move is called Pulverize. He unhinges his top half and he spins. It's an opener. The heavy version's a little less safe, but steps forward a little farther. Actually really good in footsies as well. And if you get it from the right ranges, you won't get all 3 hits, so it makes it harder to shadow counter for people. But generally, this is a very shadow counterable move. So you need to watch out for that. This move used to be called
Clobbercopter.
Clobbercopter.
So one of my new things that I've been doing is I'm naming all the command lists. Like that combat traits thing that's in the game now. Since the last update, I did that stuff. And I named this move Clobbercopter, and it was there until a week before it was supposed to be done.
Yeah, so it can be really hard to deal with this move when Aganos is armored up. Because even though he's negative, go ahead and block. Even though he's negative, he might just do it again. Or button into that again. And if he presses a button, he's gonna eat my armor and get hit. So what I recommend you do here, even if he has a lot of chunks, is go ahead and shadow counter this. Oh no, ow, my chunks are gone. Yeah. So characters that have really fast shadow counters can remove most or all of the chunks by shadow countering this move, which will make Aganos struggle to get his armor back. That is the Pulverize, quarter circle back punch, also known as the Clobbercopter. Next up is a fan favorite. Go ahead and scoot back a little bit for me again. This one's called Natural Disaster. This is a opener on hit, so go ahead and let me hit you with this. That's the light version. The medium version goes a bit farther, gets you 2 hits, and the heavy version goes really far and pretty fast. This move is horrifically unsafe on block, however. Go ahead and block this.
Yep.
You bounce off Blanca Ball style, and characters can get a pretty easy punish on that. But what's really fun about this move is you can press up during it and add a bounce to it. One thing I forgot to mention, unfortunately, which I'll go back and mention now, is that Aganos' armor does not work in the air. If you are in pre-jump frames or jump frames, your armor will not work, which means if you're armored, I can roll through stuff like this, but if I roll and then hop, you're way too close to me. You can just hit me out of it. The armor won't work. So that's very important. We should have disconnected. People are awful.
Hey guys, how's the stream going?
No, it's usually like, hey, can you show me this?
Yeah.
Or are you making this?
Surprisingly, it took a really long time for that to happen.
Yeah.
So the people will jump a lot on this character when they're trying to move in on him because they're scared of things like this. But if they, you just press up, tag him out of the air, which is great. Another really cool thing you can do with it, go ahead and jump over this.
Oh,
If you
that's
press
so
up after you go under, he goes back the other way, which is hilarious.
I had no idea
Double
that
jump
was a thing.
forward. Double jump forward. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
even
so
that,
good.
yeah.
It's really fun. And then the other cool thing you can do with it, Matt's really good at spacing this, but I'm not. Yeah. You can get cross-ups with it. Yeah, I'm so bad at this. I get it off a back throw pretty easy, though. Oh, just kidding.
Matt,
I'm
please,
gonna-
where are you?
Matt, please. There,
you
got
go.
it. Yeah, so you can get cross-ups with that with the right setups, and it's super terrifying. Just don't get blocked, because it's super unsafe. You can make it a little more safe. If you have armor, it's harder to punish. And of course, if you press up right before you hit them, block low for me. There's a little less recovery there if you tap up right before you hit. Because he just gets back to the ground a little faster than he would if you hit on the ground. That is the Natural Disaster. In development, this move had a different name. Shout outs to the movie Hook. This move was called the Thud Butt. If you get that reference, I like you. Okay. That was 3 special moves. Do you think he has any more special moves?
I'm not
Of course
sure.
not.
I don't think so.
Let's talk about the last use for chunks before we get into the last move. I know you guys have been waiting to see this because it was teased in the last textual stream, but yes, Aganos can put new walls up in the stage. Sadira's running away from me. Oh, I'm chasing her. Ah, stop.
Oh, God.
Now there's a wall behind her, and that is a new stage corner. Anything that interacts with a stage corner, like a wall bounce or her web cling, will interact with that now. Very, very, very interesting gameplay along with these because obviously runaway is a huge, huge problem for characters like this usually. And you can't run away from this character. He's just going to grab